Tall and strong people. Coach Alan here, and today we're going to talk about what should we do if we have back-to-back meets, and how should our training look like if we have such a circumstance. I've learned a lot through the process of actually coaching Thomas, which he's the type of individual that he's always 3 weeks out, 8 weeks out, 5 weeks out. Anywhere around that area. So for me, through that process, I kind of needed to develop a framework. I kind of needed to develop a way in which we can bring our best performance on the platform, and at the same time, we can also prioritize some meets over the others. There are people, and this is actually something that I told Thomas. There are people that live to win, so they're just competing to win. There are people that compete for the sport, so they just go to the sport. They go to the platform just because they enjoy being on the platform. And there are people that live the sport. That it's what they're actually breathing. They're breathing the platform. They're interconnected with the sport. It's part of their identity. It's very rooted into their identity. So for them, competing is paramount. Competing is a very important part of life. So if you're that type of individual that just absolutely enjoys competing, not necessarily for winning, although you can definitely win. Thomas is just winning over and over and over again, only first places, making state records across across federations. So he's living the sport, but he's also competing to win because he's always winning. So I came up with a kind of framework that I want to share with you guys. If you're ever interested in taking some time to compete a little bit more frequently, this is how training would actually look like in such cases. Is this a good idea to actually build? Not really so. I would recommend somewhere around 2 to 3 competitions per year will give you enough leeway not only to make progress but also to explore different blocks, to explore and see how your body is actually responding to some variables. It gives us as coaches a lot of time to see what works and what doesn't really work for you, and it's a great opportunity to really nail down the technical stuff and the minutia of training. So now getting back to it, if you're interested in competing a little bit more frequently, this is how it will look like. So it all is going to depend on how close together the meets are. 1 to 2 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, 5 to 8 weeks. Okay? So if you have competitions back to back, and Thomas actually had USPA meet and USPC meet within 2 weeks. So the way we would actually go about it is to extend the peak, okay, but also prioritize the performance for the most important one. If it is the first one, pick and play all your cards for the first one. Okay, so you want to leave no stone unturned for the first competition. On the second one, you're going to treat it as a training. If it is the second one, you're going to treat it as a training meet and perform at your 90 to 95%. Okay, so this is an example if your priority is the first meet. Okay, week 1, single at 6. Week 2, single at 7. Week 3, single at 8. Week 4, single at 9. Week 5, openers and warm up, and this is when you're actually going to compete on your first meet. You're getting back after the meet. You're going to extend the peak. So you're going to do a single at 7, 7.5, pack downs at 3x3 around the 6. So these are just examples. And you would get immediately into the second competition, openers, and warm up. If your priority is the second meet, what you want to do is to play it safe. So the first meet is not going to be at your max. You're not going to blow your whole load up. It's just going to be a stimulus for the next week, and the next week is going to pick you into the competition. Okay, so you would go, for example, you finished a 2x8 on the previous block. You're getting into your intro week, single at 6, single at 7, single at 8. You're going through the openers and the warm up. You're doing single at 8 with some back downs in there, and again openers and warm up, and this is where you let everything you have. If the meets are within 3 to 4 weeks, we can wave load, but only if the first one is the important one. Okay, so we're going to pick into it and wave load into the next one. If the second is the one that is important, we want to train into the first one and perform at 90 to 95% on the first one. So again, it's pretty much priming us for the next couple of weeks for the competition that really matters. Okay, so we would have single at 6, 7, 8, 9. This is, the priority is the first competition, so we're just going to do our openers warm up, get into competition. After that, a triple at 6, a second at 7, a single at 8, and week 9 is the second competition. So we're going to do our openers and warm up and get into that meet. If the second meet is the priority one, we're going to train into it. So say we have a triple at 8, we're getting into a double at 6, double at 7, double at 8. We're going to take this one as a training meet. Okay, so we're just going to prime ourselves for the singles. And after that, we're going to do single at 7, single at 8, single at 9, and get into the next competition, which is the priority one. And this is also where we're going to pick. If we have 5 to 8 weeks, we have a lot more time. So we have a lot more leeway. So at this point, it doesn't really matter that much which competition is, the priority. I would still recommend to, if the second one is the priority on the first one, to be just a little bit conservative and not blow all your load up and just use it as a confidence booster. So it would look like something like this. Okay, you're picking into this one, into the first meet, and after that you're going to do some triples, some doubles, getting into some singles, and the second meet in week 13, you're going to do your openers, warm-ups, and compete on that meet. So this is how training might actually look like if you have back-to-back meets. Again, if you want to build long-term, and if you want to really take your time to process some changes into not only your technique, but also in how you're feeling training and the groove of training in general, I would not recommend you to be, 8 weeks out, 5 weeks out, almost, after every meet. It's going to be very hard to process that. I do recommend having some time to build, but I don't have anything against having like a periods of time in which you just want, for half a year, you just want to compete at every possible meet that you have. But maybe for the, second half of the year, just, take some time for your body to recover and take some time for your body to really process training, maybe have some long deload weeks to resensitize you to training and to really reconnect you with training in general. I hope this gives some perspective about picking and about how to approach training for back-to-back meets. If you guys have any questions, just let them down below in the comment section. Have a good one.